Alright, hello everyone and welcome to another video where I'm going to be checking out a new product. So, in this video, I am going to be checking out something that I didn't hear of, I guess, kind of the first iteration of it coming out, and I didn't hear about it when it first came out. I actually kind of stumbled upon this on accident. So, if you've been watching my videos, you know that I've been kind of trying to go back and start doing some retro gaming. I've, I think right now my longest series is Sly Cooper on the PS2. I've done a full playthrough of that. I'm wanting to start doing playthroughs on GameCube, and I've done some videos with running retropie on a Raspberry Pi. And this right here is a complete game changer. This little bitty right here. This is the mClassic. As you can see, right there, it plugs directly into the HDMI. And on the back here is where your HDMI plugs in at the top. And your USB power goes into the bottom. So, similar to the HDMI converters and stuff that you have for the PS2 and a couple of other game systems, this does require a USB power source, which it doesn't require much of anything. It can run off of one of the USB ports on whatever console you're using, if that console has USB plugs on it. And if not, you can literally use phone charger. I have the packaging right over here, the box and stuff that it came in. Of course, I've already pulled it out of the box because I've been using it and testing to see if this is just snake oil or if it's the real deal. So, in the box here, it comes with a decently long USB cord, just the regular micro USB. It's not upgraded to the point of USB Type C, and that's perfectly fine by me, because even if I don't use the actual cord that comes with it, which you don't have to, I'm not using it for my setup. And then I've heard this is mostly good for the dock. It's kind of a USB extension, male on one end, female on the other end, so that way you don't have to plug it directly into the source. And from what I've seen and what I've heard, I don't personally own a Nintendo Switch, but this is a very good solution for the Nintendo Switch dock, where the mClassic is kind of too big and bulky to fit directly into it. What I am going to be using it on today, because it has made a huge difference, is my Raspberry Pi. This little box here. So I use a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, and that's what I do my PS1 games and Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, with PS1 being the absolute most console that I play on the retropie. Now, I will go ahead and add in that the mClassic is not, they tell you kind of straight out, the mClassic is not going to do a whole lot for Nintendo and Super Nintendo, kind of the 2D side-scrolling top games. You're not going to see hardly any improvement. What the mClassic does, the mClassic upscales and smooths. So the mClassic has to have a minimum of a 480p resolution input, which on modern consoles is nothing. But basically going back to like GameCube and PS2 and stuff like that, I've heard PS2 users having the biggest issues with it, but with a decent PS2 to HDMI converter, I don't think people are having that many issues with it. I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to. That's probably the next thing that I'm going to end up doing. But I wanted to start off with the Raspberry Pi just because I haven't really seen anybody else doing videos with the mClassic on the Raspberry Pi, and it was kind of an afterthought, honestly. But I originally bought this to use with the PS2, but after I started looking into it a little bit more, I want to use it for the GameCube, which, from the little bit that I have seen, the GameCube actually improves more than the PS2 does, just because the video quality and stuff on the GameCube was a lot higher than the PS2 in that generation. And then another one that I've seen is the N64. The N64, especially when paired with the Eon Super HDMI, N64 HDMI by Eon, and the mClassic paired together, it was mind blowing to see on on someone else's YouTube video. And we all know YouTube compresses files, and so it's not going to look as good as what it really does if you're playing it for yourself. So I can only imagine what the N64 can upscale to. So along with upscaling, the mClassic also kind of rounds out pixels so that you don't have as much, jaggies and jagged pixels and stuff, and the outlines of characters and different things like that have a lot more smoothness to them, and really brings them in kind of looking a little bit more modern. Of course, there's only so much that you can do with upscaling. You can't make pixels that aren't there. So you can only upscale, you can only smooth. Of course, that only goes so far. But we're going to go ahead and get into just what happens when you hook an mClassic to a retropie. Okay, so for our resolution comparison, I am going to be using Spyro Year of the Dragon, emulated for PS1, obviously. And the main thing to pay attention to is the frogs right here, especially when they swell up, like they're making noise. Pay attention to the pixels and the jaggedness of when they do that. And I think that's where you're going to see your biggest changes. Kind of look at it. Do a couple of things. Look at that. Look at the underwater, the lights underwater. And right now we are in we have the Raspberry Pi upscaling it on its own to 1080, and the mClassic is in pass-through mode, so it's doing absolutely nothing. It's not doing any smoothing, it's not doing any enhancements or anything like that. It's not doing any upscaling, nothing like that. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I am going to go ahead, change it over here. The mClassic is now on. It is now, it's not upscaling because my TV does not support 1440, so it's limited to 1080, but it is doing a little bit of smoothing, whatever it can do. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of difference. You can't my eyes don't notice a whole lot going on here. So, in my experience, this is what I've found has to go on. So, you exit out of there, go into retropie, go into Raspi config, go to your advanced options, resolution. You're going to go to 480. The reason I recommend the 4x3 is because majority of your retro consoles did not support widescreen. They were not formatted for widescreen. So a lot of the times these emulators will stretch the pixels to make them fit a widescreen. Obviously that's not happening so much now with the Raspberry Pi at this particular moment, but sometimes it will do that. So I'm going to say you use the 640 by 480 4x3. Set the resolution of that. You finish up. It'll do a reboot. Even though I set it to that 480, my TV is still detecting a 720p input, which from the multiple things that I've used, a 720 input is about perfect. So we're going to go back into Spyro. A bit cloudier here. This is 480 with the mClassic and pass-through mode again. Alright, and this is the mClassic kind of doing its thing. Doing its smoothing, doing its rounding. I mean, so for whatever reason, my capture card kind of, I got something that doesn't work quite right. Because I'm looking over here at the screen where I'm recording, and it looks awesome. So I turn and look at the screen that I'm actually playing on. It doesn't look quite as good. That could be because I have old ass HDMI cords, HDMI cables that were cheap when I got them, however long ago that was. So I did go to the store this morning and buy new HDMI cables to kind of squeeze everything that I can out of this. I just hadn't changed them over yet because I can already see a pretty huge difference, and I wanted to hurry up and throw this video out there just because I've seen people doing videos of, you know, the N64 with the Eon Super 64 and the mClassic daisy chained together, running HDMI through that, and it's beautiful. I've seen the GameCube doing the same thing with Eon's HDMI adapter. I've seen the PS2 with various HDMI adapters with the mClassic, all showcasing everything that's going on. What I do not see is I do not see people using these with their retropie setups, using them with the Raspberry Pi. So I wanted to hurry up and get a video out showing just what exactly goes on when you do that. I mean, in my opinion, what goes on is this looks really good. I mean, granted, the PS1 game itself, it looked good to begin with, but now we're looking at it like this, and that looks pretty damn impressive. If you're a retro gamer, you enjoy playing the old consoles, and you have HDMI solutions for those, I think you would be doing yourself a huge favor by going ahead and picking up an mClassic. I mean, it's absolutely game-changing. These guys have done a great job putting out this product. All the coding and processing and everything that goes behind this. As much as I want to call it magic, I know it would be a dishonor to them to say, to call this thing magic. Because even though I can't do it myself and I don't comprehend what's going on, I understand that this is a lot of work. and it's almost a discredit to these guys to say that it's like magic. So I have two kind of end results for this thing. I've used it so far on the Raspberry Pi. I've used it on PS4. My big thing and my main reason I wanted to buy it was for PS2, because as you guys know, or maybe if you don't know, you'll explore my channel a little bit and see that I really like PS2 gaming. I think that's where my focus is kind of drifting to, where, you know, maybe even already becoming, is PS2 gaming, and I eventually want to add in GameCube gaming, because honestly, if you look, video quality and things like that, the GameCube was actually better. And going back, I can say that for sure, because I've been playing the PS2 and I've been playing the GameCube, and I played the PS2 with HDMI converter, and I played it with the, you know, regular RCA. I've been playing GameCube with RCA, and the GameCube was superior as far as video quality goes. I'm really excited to kind of bring the GameCube and PS2 both to my channel, and the mClassic, I believe, is only going to help me with that. It's going to help my videos look as good as possible, even though I know YouTube does all the video compression, and then you have your stream resolutions and things like that. So I know you're not going to get the full visual of it. Just like in this video, you're not going to get the full visual of it. But just keep in mind the little changes that you see while watching this. There is a whole lot more change to it when you're actually looking at it. With that being said, should you buy the mClassic? If you're playing the old consoles, even if you're doing like I'm doing right now, the Raspberry Pi, emulating old games, as long as you're playing like PS1, PS2, those 3D style games, then there's no reason not to get an mClassic. I mean, to me, the $100 that it costs is certainly justifiable. The difference is that much, in my opinion, that I'm definitely willing to spend $100 without a doubt. I mean, $100. I was scared. Honestly, I was scared initially, because through YouTube videos and through stuff like that, you can't fully grasp the concept of how much it is doing. So I was nervous when I ordered this and spent $100 on it. Marcella, however you pronounce the company's name, I'll link it below, and probably right here I'm gonna put it like right here at the bottom of the video, so you can spell it out. And I'm shit at pronouncing things. They have brought forward a game-changing product in my eyes. So if you're doing the retro consoles, buy it. If you can spend the $100, buy it. Best decision I think that you could make. Now, on the other hand, if you're only gaming modern era, you know, PS4, Xbox One, then I probably wouldn't get it. I have used the mClassic on my PS4 a whole lot. On a lot of things, it doesn't make much of a difference. Playing games, and I don't have a PS4 Pro. I have the original launch PS4, not the PS4 Slim or the PS4 Pro. I have like the original launch PS4, and it doesn't upscale enough. Even when I turn down the output to 720 and let the mClassic do the work, it's a little bit better, but it's really only better zooming in. Like, if you was to take screenshots and zoom in on them, that's the only difference you're really going to notice gameplay-wise. Now, honestly, watching YouTube and watching different things on streaming services, in my unique circumstances, it does help. I live out here in the middle of nothing, and my internet speeds are trash. I mean, honestly, I have like 3 meg internet, so I have to turn my quality way down on YouTube videos and Hulu and Netflix, stuff like that. I have to have I don't get very good quality. So, plugging in the mClassic, it can do the upscaling and make, granted, it's not going to be the same as if I had, gig internet or, any kind of other much higher speeds where I could watch these things in their highest resolution. I'm sure it's not as good, but it's better. It's better even in that case. So I wouldn't buy it just for doing that. It's a nice little bonus, but this is definitely a product that is retro oriented. Now, another thing I will say, 2D games, NES, Super NES, those games are going to see next to no benefit when the mClassic is in play. You can't make pixels that aren't there. You can only smooth out so much. So the 8 and 16-bit games, shit like that, there's no need not apply. This is for PS1, PS2, GameCube, Xbox, and I've even heard of it working pretty well on the Switch. Supposedly the Switch has a nice improvement graphically with the mClassic, and I could believe that because it doesn't have as good of resolution and good of video quality as the Xbox and PlayStation of the generation does. So, with all that being said, let me know if you like me doing these kinds of videos. It seems to be pretty fun. I like just kind of, now that I've gotten comfortable with the camera, I like just sitting here talking, telling my opinion, and kind of discussing my feelings towards things and giving you my opinion. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment, let me know if you've used the mClassic, let me know if there's another console that you want me to try the mClassic on, and upload footage of it. I'm down. I mean, right now I'm waiting for the, I'm probably waiting on whichever one comes in stock first, but I'm waiting on Eon's MK2 or the Carby for GameCube HDMI solution. I'm waiting on one of those to come in, and I'm going to start doing GameCube videos as well. And of course I'm going to have the mClassic hooked to it, because why wouldn't I? So yeah, just give me your opinion down in the comments. I'm going to put a link to the mClassic in the description of the video so you can check it out for yourself, and maybe check out the other products that Marcella has, which at this point they only have 3 products, and 2 of those being basically the same thing as the mClassic, but it was what they originally come up with, and that was a full HDMI cord itself. So if you're wanting to go with less plugs and less plugs means less chances of a bad connection. Only downside is those HDMI cords cost even more than the mClassic does. So, while they are an equally as good product, they're not as budget friendly. And if you guys have watched my videos, you know I'm the broke boy gamer. So, the mClassic was a solution for me. I feel like the $99 is just. And yeah, So let me know your opinions, let me know your thoughts on the product, and give me your suggestions. So, love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. So, like this video, subscribe.